Today, we are talking about why our friends like plants. Giving you some plants in the background. Well, I think what came to me very clearly was that if you don't water a plant for a while, it will survive. If you don't give it light for a while, it will survive, and then it starts to droop. And then eventually, no matter how gorgeous, no matter how verdant, how green, how whatever, that plant's going to die. And friendship is exactly the same way, exactly the same way. So let me share this that I think is important for me to put out there, that the reason why I talk not only about personal development and professional development, but the reason why I talk about personal development is because anything you do in your life, anything at all, that's the human that you are. That human is the person that does business, that starts a business, operates a business, that is an entrepreneur, that owns their own company, that works for someone else. But always the human is the foundation of it all. So anything that I'm talking about, even if the session is purely about personal development, think how it affects the whole scope of your life. Okay? So, what came to me about friendships is a very important distinction because I read yet again of another influencer on social media who was found lifeless and a suicide. And this is so sad. It is so sad because for 5 minutes, when you have a million likes, you think, oh my goodness, I've made it. Oh, they like me. They love me. This is fantastic. I'm so happy. That's ephemeral, you guys. It's the same as showbiz. Now, I know what I'm talking about because, as you know, I was in it for more than half my life. So I'm going to say to you that who we are as beings need more nourishment than an impersonal like on a Facebook page. We need so much more than that. So the first thing I want to distinguish is do not think that likes or friends, whether someone friends you or they don't, makes any difference to who you are as a being. Because if you attach your value to that, it's very dangerous territory. Very dangerous territory. It's like me getting on stage and people fell in love with the characters that I created, not with me. They fell in love with Carmen, with Delilah, with Aida, with Amneris, with they fell in love with these fabulous characters. And if you're a really, really good actor, they're never going to see the machinations. They're never going to see the machine. They're only going to see the result of the magic that you created as an excellent actor. Well, that's very important. It's wonderful. You don't want them to see the magic. I mean, excuse me, you don't want to see them to see how you created the magic. You want them to only enjoy the magic. Social media has a little bit of that, more than a little bit. So please distinguish the fact that yes, you can get some support from people who care about you, but it is not the same as nurturing a friendship. Now, there are friends that are like a succulent plant. I have a succulent plant in my kitchen window, and I have to be very careful not to kill it with water, but every 2 weeks it likes to be watered. every 2 weeks. I turn it so that it gets sun on all sides, and it is just going to town. It's having a very good time. Some friends are like succulents. You can contact them rarely. There is still connection when you do contact them. And then there are other plants, friends, that are like orchid plants. And the friends that are like orchid plants need to be misted regularly or put in ice cube so that it melts slowly. You can't overwater it. It needs to be in a warm climate. That needs to be mist in the air. Very, very arduous to take care of these plants. And if you're lucky, maybe in a year it will bloom and give you a spectacular flower. Well, whether your friends are like orchid plants or they're like succulents that don't need as much attention and care, they all need attention and care. And one of the most important things that I have learned in friendship is not only to give, but to receive. That is really important. And also for us to realize when something changes, it's difficult in our lives when something changes. You need to communicate from the heart, and sometimes you need to just open your hands and let a friendship go, because maybe the season of that friendship is over. I had a friend, still have that friend in my life, over half my life, who is a brilliant woman, a spiritual woman. We have the most fabulous conversations. We have influenced each other's lives for the better. We've really been positive influences in each other's lives. She was one who came to me after a concert. No, we were doing an opera together, and she said to me, "You're only using half of your voice, and you need to go and study with this woman in Milano, and you'll see that everything is going to change. You're going to love what's going to happen." I didn't easily trust people. I trusted her, and I was right. I found my voice in Milano, okay? When someone in her life was there and she didn't realize how much she cared about him and how much he cared about her, I brought it to her attention. So our lives have been positively affected by each other. Long periods of time go by when we don't talk to each other. But strangely enough, as I called her, I realized that my communication was not as heart to heart as it had been. And I wondered why. What a strange thing. And then I realized, I thought about seasons of friendship. Now she is a lot older. Her health has not been good, and she has other priorities in her life. I also realized in this age of a friendship, I was always the one who called her. She never called me. And I thought, that's strange. And then I said, it's fine. We were still in each other's lives these amazing, positive, supportive influences for each other. Now the season has changed in the friendship. It is not as intimacy of heart that it was before. And that's okay. So that is for me a hard thing to accept, because the family unit that I was part of was not really a family that said, I'm here and I support you and go out in the world and you have a home base to come home to. I didn't have that. Once I left, that was it. You know, you sink or swim, that's your problem. So it meant a great deal to me my friends, and perhaps I expected at times way too much out of them. But when it goes back to thinking about what a friend is and what a friend can be in your life, that is the richness of your life. You can have a ton of things, fabulous cars, fabulous houses covered with jewelry, a million degrees, tons of money, you're on top of the world. This, this heart needs to be fed. And relationships, whether they're orchids or succulent plants, need nourishment. And those beautiful relationships are what nourish our hearts. And that is what we remember at key times in our lives. We'll remember how an interaction changed our lives, how being able to call someone and say, I need your help. And also, it happened to me. Someone came and helped me. I thought, oh, that's extraordinary. I was going through a really tough period. And then when I reached out to talk to them, not only were they not there, they ghosted me. They were not there at all. They simply didn't answer me. Well, I was horrified. I couldn't comprehend that that would happen. And then I realized, many times we may be appreciated for something that is not the most valuable part of ourselves. I was appreciated because I was talented and because I had this unique talent that was created with work. Yes, I had the essential talent, but work creates an artist. A lot of work and a lot of love and a lot of dedication. And maybe that's why I was appreciated. And now that that wasn't there, maybe that didn't matter anymore. So all of these moments in our lives, to me, they are seasons. They are seasons of friendship. And what I am learning in trying to explain it to you, what I am learning is that there are seasons. I met a man named Stuart many years ago, probably 15 years ago, at a convention that I had gone to. We met each other, and there was such a soul connection, brain connection, soul connection. It was, we understood each other and we couldn't wait to work together. It was this immediacy that I have never forgotten this man. And I think I spent no more than 6 hours with him, to find out 2 weeks later that he had left the earth. I still feel that connection. I met someone in Sacramento when I was performing who has been a constant in my life, even though huge spaces of time goes by and we don't talk to each other. When we talk to each other, there it is again. This beautiful, compassionate, honest, loving relationship. So my darlings, water the plants, nourish your friends, because your friends will nourish you. And the 3 points that I want to say today is, one is 1 million likes are not love, and they're not friendship. They're show business. Don't confuse the two. Don't confuse them. They're not the same thing. Love and friendship are not likes in an impersonal, artificial world. Nourish this. Water, mist the orchid, water the succulent, put it in the sun. Friends no matter what their level in your life or for how long they are in your life, are there to enrich you and are there to teach you something, to communicate from your heart. Communicate from your heart. I've caught myself sometimes just agreeing with someone, and this is probably in my past because I'm not like that anymore. Just to agree with someone, I'll just say yes and agree with them. No, I will always be kind. But if I don't agree with you, I don't agree with you. And if the person doesn't like that, and that's a constant thing that you notice, you're probably dealing with a narcissist. So beware. Okay. And finally, oh, I haven't written that one down yet, is accept the seasons of friendship. Accept the seasons of friendship. The seasons, it may be 6 hours, and they will leave an indelible mark on your life. It may be 40 years. And through those 40 years, it will continuously change color. But know that friendship, relationship is the jewel and are the jewels, because there are many kinds of relationships. Those are the jewels in your life. Treasure them, mist them, water them, give them light, and give them love. So it's Audrey of Firestone signing off. And I hope that some of my revelations, because talking to you helps me see things differently. So I thank you. I thank you for being here, and thank you for inspiring me. Later, alligator.